Without the Scots-Irish, the Marion would have had a very rough time accomplishing what he did. He was able to be very mobile, move 60 miles in a day sometimes.
You were listening to History Man, the platform for historians, curators, and authors to tell their stories of the American Revolution, walk in the footsteps of heroes, and proclaim freedom reigns. On today's episode, we are happy to have Paul Graham back with us. He is the CEO of the American Heritage Festival in Lake City, South Carolina. So welcome, Paul.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Paul, you got your festival going on again this year. Tell us a little bit about when, where, how they can get a hold of you, and how they can come out and enjoy the good time you're having out there.
Well, I appreciate your inquiry. Our festival is February 15th and 16th in Lake City on Graham's Farm. You can look us up at theamericanheritagefestival.com, and you can also buy tickets there.
Tell us what you got lined up for the events out there. There's something new, and tell us how that new twist to your festival, how that applies to that area and maybe even the American Revolution or the founding of this country.
I think you're talking about the Scots-Irish. Yeah, we're excited about that. I found an article. It's a memoir of the Witherspoons coming from Northern Ireland, from actually the same church our family came from, and how they came here and how hard it was for them to go overseas. They lost their mother when they took their trip from Northern Ireland to Charlestown. The journey was very, very difficult. And by the time they got to the Williamsburg area, at that time it was extremely cold, and they originally started out in huts. So that's the Witherspoon story. But it wasn't just them. There were several boatloads of Scots-Irish who came, from Northern Ireland, and who populated Williamsburg. And our farm is in former Williamsburg. It's in Florence now, but it used to be the northern part of Williamsburg during the American Revolution. But these Scots-Irish were a pretty hardened group. They were Presbyterian mostly. They had come from originally, a couple generations prior, they'd come from Scotland, and they had been driven out because of the religion, and but they came over to Northern Ireland, and they were there for a generation or two, and they just didn't seem like they fit in. And besides, the king decided to take back some of the land that they were given, and so they decided to take some opportunities in the new country with the offers that the king gave them, which was 50 acres per man, plus tools, and that was enough. That was enough for them to come.
One of your relatives, I think you said the Witherspoons, and I would imagine that's the Witherspoon from Witherspoon's Ferry. Is that correct?
Yes.
From up in that area. Well, all this area is really, from a revolutionary standpoint, all Francis Marion stomping grounds. In fact, John Graham, who is your ancestor, he rode with Francis Marion and some of his men, correct?
Correct. He was out of Black Mingo. He fought with Marion and Moultrie in the French and Indian Wars. They had become friends. And Captain John Graham was actually very mobile. He was at the defense of Charleston in Fort Moultrie in 1776. He was in and around the Williamsburg area for a while, and he was also up in Camden. He fought with the Kershaw Regiment up there. So, yeah, he's a relative. He would be like a sixth grade uncle.
I see. Well, the Graham farm itself really is kind of kind of the hub of a bunch of different battles that happened in that section of South Carolina during the Revolutionary War. If you go out like spoke wheels, you can literally go to a lot of these different battles that Francis Marion is known for. Name some of those battles that really kind of that Graham's Farm is a hub of.
Well, he attacked Georgetown from there. There was Black Mingo. I believe it's Blue Savannah. But the main one that we try to associate ourselves with is the Battle of Tiercote Swamp, because that's when they brought British prisoners to our farm. But if you look at a map, you're going to see probably about 7 or 8 battles. Some of them were, they're very close to the farm.
Right. One of the churches that were burned in South Carolina during the Revolutionary War was the Indiantown Presbyterian Church. That's actually fairly close to your farm too, correct?
Yeah, it's about 7 miles away,
Yeah.
and that was found by the Scotch Irish.
Uh-huh.
My 6th great grandmother was one of the founders of that. She was a Cooper, and her son James McCutcheon was a dragoon under Marion, and he fought at the Siege of Savannah. But most of the people who lived in, plantations up and down the Lynch's River were fighting with Marion, and they were mostly Scots-Irish. And that's one of the things we decided to do. We wanted to bring that community back a little bit and celebrate the support that they gave to Francis Marion. They provided ammunition, they provided horses, they provided food, and they also helped him spy, because they had relatives or friends in different areas where the British might be, and they could get word back to Marion about the British's movement. So without the Scots-Irish, Marion would have had a very rough time accomplishing what he did. He was able to be very mobile, move 60 miles in a day sometimes, which is quite a lot, and you'd have to have a string of horses to do that sometimes, and you'd have to have feed for the horses, and you'd have to have places to rest, and you'd have to have intelligence, and you'd have to have men to help you get through all this and to fight those battles. And it was the Scots-Irish community that provided all that for him. And so the festival this year is going to have the Scots-Irish Games, which they're very much like the Highland Games, with 7 men and 7 women as athletes. But we're just going to celebrate that background, that supporting community. And we're also going to have the Palmetto Pipes and Drums band. It's a more modern band. And we're going to have Celtic music too all weekend. So we're excited about that. It's a nice twist to the festival. We're still going to have all our reenactments, which are great. We're going to have the Revolutionary War reenactments and British and continental encampments. We're also going to bring in a lot of speakers. We're going to have Duran Ashmore, who's going to talk about the role the militia did play with Francis Marion and in the whole Southern campaign, because they made a big difference compared to the North. The militia were very important in the South. In fact, at some points, they were the only ones fighting, so they played a key role. So Duran Ashmore will be speaking about that. And we're also going to have Ron Brown come down from the United States Air Force Special Operations Museum. And he's going to talk about modern day warfare and how they still use Francis Marion's tactics, kind of like bylaws, to operate today. So that's kind of exciting also. And then we have Greg Brodbeck, who took it upon himself to make a very nice painting. It's called Graham's Plantation, but it's of Francis Marion and the back of the farm, in the swamps, with the British chasing him. After the Battle of Tiercote, Cornwallis was pretty upset about the horses and the bridles and the muskets that were stolen. So he sent out Colonel Tarleton to find and destroy Marion in November of 1780. And so he put that painting together after a picture of the back of the farm, which is a swampy area that connects with the PD River, and that they probably used to bring in British prisoners to the farm. So we're excited. We have all kinds of different new angles to this event. We're trying to improve it each year, and we think we did a good job this time of making it very exciting.
Well, tell us a little bit about some of the other wars that are represented there at the Heritage Festival.
The other, well, we do World War II reenactments. General Patton's grandson comes in to speak, and actually, he is the descendant of General Mercer, who was a good friend of General Washington, and who he unfortunately passed away from a British injury that he got at the Battle of Trenton. But so that's kind of interesting that Pat Waters, who's George Patton's grandson, is also a descendant of General Mercer in the North. But we have reenactments all day. We'll have encampments, German and American encampments, and weapons demonstrations, as well as reenactments.
So down there in Lake City, when they get to you, when they come out there, is there food? Are people going to be able to eat when they get there?
Oh yeah, we got a party tent, and we've got some food trucks coming out. We have barbecue, and we have a hot dog and hamburger truck, and then we have a beer tent and beer and wine we offer, and great entertainment. It's called Aaron's Call. It's Celtic music. It'll be there all weekend. And we have Bridget Gore, who's coming out. She's a solo artist who sings Scottish music, Celtic music, and she's going to be. She'll be out there. You'll hear her a lot too, and she has a very beautiful and distinct voice. And then we also have Guilford Courthouse Pipes and Drum Corps is coming out, and so we're excited about seeing them too. Fife and Drum Corps, I'm sorry. So they'll be there. So we have plenty of music and plenty of entertainment, from speakers to reenactments to encampments, all in a Revolutionary War and World War II periods, as well as a party tent. Oh, and the athletic games. The Scots-Irish athletic games. That is going to be very interesting. They'll be doing some caber tossing and stone throwing and hammer throwing, and very interesting athletic events that you don't see every day. And that is a competition, so it'll be very competitive. And we have judges for it. That's Saturday only, though, for that piece of it. But it all starts at 10 a.m. It goes to about 5 p.m. on Saturday. After that, we do have Nights of Lights that start as soon as it gets dark. We have a bonfire, and we shoot off cannons and muskets. We put steel wool in those when we fire them off, so it looks like fireworks. It's something to see. It's something you never see, really. But it does look like fireworks, and it's beautiful at night to come out to see that. And then Sunday, we start again at 10 a.m., and we go to 4.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful time. Tell us how we can get a hold of you or a hold of the event, and how much it's going to cost, and when to arrive, and when the first celebrations are, or the first events are there.
Well, you're going to walk into the athletic games. They're going to start right away. The Scots and Irish athletic games, which are very much like the Highland games. Those are going to start at 10 a.m. sharp. At 11 a.m., we've got the Revolutionary War reenactment. We also have cannon firing just before that. We've got speakers. Celtic music starts at 11:30 a.m. So it's going to be an action-packed day. And our artist, Greg Broadbeck, is going to be out there. He's going to be signing his artwork of Francis Marion on Graham's Plantation. And that's beautiful artwork. So you'll be able to meet him and see what inspired him to do that. It's going to be a wonderful day.
Outstanding. How can people get a hold of you?
They can reach me at 904-200-1232. That's 904-200-1232. Or they can just go online, again, www.theamericanheritagefestival.com for more information and schedule, as well as we have a write-up from VIP Magazine that gives us a lot more detail about how we are related to the Revolutionary War. And we also have a press release, so you have a little bit of feel for exactly what's going on. At noon, the Scots-Irish athletes are going to have a fun tug-of-war contest with the Florence County SWAT team. So they're going to kind of just make it a little bit more enjoyable. It is about history, and that's very important. But we want everybody to enjoy themselves too. So that'll be fun to watch.
Sounds like a great time, Paul, and appreciate you coming on with History Man and telling us a little bit about it. We always like talking about these events that children and families can get involved in and learn about our history. We appreciate your willingness to put this Heritage Festival together. I know this has really kind of been born out of your vision, and you have brought this down to Lake City on your historic farm, that you can trace the history of that farm all the way back to the Revolutionary War and before. And the Graham family has deep ties into the Carolinas, from South and North Carolina. And so we appreciate you putting this together, and we look forward to being.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for what you do. Your historical podcasts are excellent, and we love to listen to them and keep up with history. And that's really the bottom line, is to try to teach this generation and future generations where they came from. And so you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So,
well, thank you. We'll see you out there at the Graham American Heritage Festival on historic Graham's Farm on February 15th and 16th.